This presentation is regarding Emily Dickinson. The presentation is presented by Brittany Holloway. Overview. Early life of Emily, teenage years, adult life, the death of Emily Dickinson, after her death, poem, analysis of poem, Emily Dickinson Museum. The early life of Emily. Emily was born on December 10, 1830. Her parents were Edward and Emily Norcross Dickinson. Her father, who played a prominent role in her life, was once described as strict but caring. Emily described her father's heart as, "His heart was pure and terrible." Emily was the middle child. Her house was known as the homestead or mansion, and her religion, she kept an independent view on her religion. Time spent. She enjoyed baking, gardening, attending her school, church activities, reading favorite books, singing, playing the piano, writing letters, and taking walks. In school, she was very intellectual and she excelled. She spent a short time at Amherst District School, 7 years at Amherst Academy, and 1 year at Mount Holyoke Female Seminary. This is the 1 year that she spent away from her family and the longest time that she was away. In her teenage years is when she really discovered poetry and became fascinated by it and began writing. She was influenced by individuals such as William Wordsworth and Ralph Waldo Emerson. Her personality at this time was very social, and she once wrote that she hoped to be the Belle of Amherst. Adult life. Surprisingly, by the age of 20, Emily became getting gradually secluded. She preferred to stay indoors at her family's home. She was unsociable, and she did not have many friends. We're not sure why this occurred. One theory is that death of close friends may have influenced this, a fear of death in the outside world. However, she did contact people through writing. Some individuals say that she had a form of depression that led to this seclusion. It was very surprising that she never married, especially during the time that she lived. A lot of her writings was done during the Civil War. She wrote over 1,700 poems and wrote many letters during this time. Death of Emily Dickinson. Emily died at the age of 55. Her cause of death was Bright's disease. This disease is caused by kidney degeneration. This disease is said to have been brought on by stress by her doctors. Poems suggest that she did experience joy in her life, as well as conflicting attitudes about life, death, love, and religion. After her death, Emily wished for all her poems to be destroyed. However, her sister Vinnie found a box with her 1,700 poems. Vinnie gave them to Mabel Toddy, who was Emily's friend. Mabel Toddy later published Emily's work. The first edition of poems was published in 1893. Her works were praised and accepted. Her works are still praised and analyzed today. Hope is a Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul, and sings the tune without the words, and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm, that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land, and on the strangest sea, yet never, in extremity, it asked a crumb of me. Analysis of poem. Describing hope as a bird, the thing with feathers, is metaphorical. In her poem, she describes this bird, which is a symbol for hope. The bird, hope, Sings. It makes it through any storm or hardship and can be found anywhere, even in the chillest land or strangest sea. This bird does not ask for anything, not even a single crumb. Hope is like this bird. To have real hope is to keep your hope through the hardest times and the worst conditions. And having hope, you ask for no evidence to support your reasoning for having your hope. The Emily Dickinson Museum. A museum has been created in dedication to Emily. It was created in 2003, and the museum consists of the homestead and the evergreens which Emily's family and herself had lived in. And these are my references used within my presentation.